That perfect bike sitting in your garage, it might already be failing quietly behind the chrome. No recall, no warning, just small problems waiting to cost you thousands. In 2025, even the most trusted motorcycles' high design flaws, fragile parts, and breakdowns bait right into the engineering. Most riders won't find out until it's too late. These are 15 motorcycles with hidden failures nobody ever tells you about. Starting with a machine that looks bulletproof on paper but hides a flaw so frustrating it's driving owners away faster than the bike itself can run. At number 15, the Yamaha MT-07. They said the MT-07 was perfect for beginners, affordable, fun, reliable, the full package, until the road gets rough. Then it starts bouncing like a cheap trampoline. Yamaha's biggest hit has one flaw nobody wants to admit. Its suspension ages faster than the riders you. The MT-07 uses a basic, non-adjustable front fork and a cheap wheel shop for casual city riding. It feels fine, bad for a few thousand miles, especially under heavier riders or those who ride aggressively. The suspension starts to lose its damping ability. The result, a bike that begins to feel bouncy in vacant corners, especially over uneven pavement. In 2025, this has become a known issue across forums and dealerships. Yamaha hasn't changed the setup much since 2014, even though the rest of the market has moved on. Competitors like the Kawasaki G650 and CF Moto 700 CLX offer more refined stock suspensions out of the box. The MT-07 still delivers great engine character. That 689 cubic centimeters CP2 parallel twin is legendary for a reason, but its suspension holds it back. Even worse, once the fork seals begin to wear, oil leakage can show up early, forcing owners to pay for rebuilds much sooner than expected. The fact, aftermarket suspension upgrades are that at hundreds of dollars to a bike meant to be budget-friendly. The Yamaha MT-07 remains an excellent motorcycle for daily use, but it's hiding a failure in plain sight. A suspension setup that doesn't age well and turns a great chassis into a tiring one after a few thousand miles. And if you think frustrating, the next bike's hidden issue is even worse. It's a premium model whose electrical gremlins are turning dream rides into repair bills. At number 14, the Triumph Trident 660. It looks premium, feels premium, until the lights start flashing like a Christmas tree. Triumph Trident 660 might be the cleanest entry into British motorcycling, but beneath that shine, its electronics are widely falling apart. One ride is perfect, the next, it won't even start. Since its release, multiple owner reports from the UK, US, and Australia have pointed to a pattern of electrical and sensor-related malfunctions. The most common issue, bikes at least both up warning lights, traction control, check engine, and EBS, even when nothing's actually wrong. Dealerships often trace this back to faulty connectors or moisture seeping into wiring harnesses, especially around the handlebar switchgear and TFT display area. It doesn't stop there. Some Trident owners have faced intermittent starting problems where the bike refuses to fire up after sitting for a few days, often traced back to the immobilizer system. Triumph finally updated certain parts under warranty, but there's been no official recall, meaning many owners are paying for diagnosis and repairs on a bike barely a year or two old. What makes this worse is that the Trident targets new riders, the last people who want to deal with random tech issues. A simple, reliable bike should inspire confidence, not cause anxiety every time a warning light flashes. While Triumph's triple engine is battery smooth and fun, it's frustrating when the electronics around it start acting up for no clear reason. Aside from the electrical quirks, the Trident is still one of the best handling middleweights out there. Light, nimble, and surprisingly comfortable. But a growing number of reports about moisture-sensitive electronics and inconsistent dealer fixtures have definitely hurt its image. The Triumph Trident 660 proves that even a beautifully built bike can be let down by invisible issues you can't predict until they leave you stranded. And while Triumph's gremlins hide behind premium styling, the next motorcycle's failure is far more mechanical. It's a design flaw that literally shakes riders apart on long trips. At number 13, Royal Enfield Himalayan 450. The bike that was supposed to save Royal Enfield's reputation. Stronger, smoother, more advanced. On paper, it fixed everything riders hated about the old Himalayan. But once the miles are piling up at darker truth images, its new engine isn't just buzzing, it's boiling. Owners are discovering vibration and heat issues so bad, a modern upgrade feels like a step backward. Royal Enfield designed the new 450 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled engine, finally bring the brain into modern adventure territory. On paper, it works. 40 horsepower, 40 Nm of torque. The 6-speed gearbox make it sound like a perfect middleweight explorer. But once riders started logging serious miles, reports began to pile up about vibration through the bars and pegs at highway speeds and overheating during slow off-road climb. Viewers initially brushed it off as normal character, but many owners disagree. Riders have shared videos of mirrors shaking so badly that visibility disappears above 70 miles per hour. Others complain that the heat from the radiator and engine casing becomes uncomfortable during long rides, especially in warm climates. While liquid cooling helped performance, it also introduced more complexity and more potential points of failure, including fan relay, thermostat sensor faults that are now appearing in some early 2025 units. Adding to the problem, some owners have reported gearbox stiffness that worsens once the engine warms up, suggesting that thermal expansion and clutch tolerances weren't fully sorted before production. Royal Enfield has since issued service advisories in India and Europe, but not an official recall. None of this means the Himalayan 450 is a bad motorcycle. It's still rugged, comfortable, and great for slow adventure touring. But that smooth new engine everyone celebrated hides a rough side that shows up at real-world miles. The Royal Enfield Himalayan 450 reminds riders that even all new doesn't always mean all fixed. Sometimes the upgrades just move the problem somewhere else. If you don't want to waste thousands facing the wrong bike, it's right. We break down the truth no dealer will ever tell you. At number 12, Ducati Multistrada V4 S. It's the touring dream. A $28,000 masterpiece packed with radar cruise, adaptive suspension, and an engine so smooth, it feels supernatural. But that dream comes with a nightmare price tag. Beneath all that brilliance hides one of the most expensive failures in modern motorcycling, valve and oil issues that quietly bleed owners dry. Long before the adventure ends, Ducati marketed the V4 Gran Turismo engine as a major step forward, with a claimed 37,000-mile valve adjustment interval, practically unheard of for a performance motor. Promise was less maintenance, more reliability. However, riders have begun to discover that this long service claim doesn't always hold true. Some Multistrada V4 owners are finding valve clearance issues as early as 15,000 to 20,000 miles, particularly in hotter climates or for riders who tour aggressively. Dealerships often handle these quietly, adjusting valves early under warranty, but the labor time is massive. Even a basic check can cost more than $1,000. Out of warranty owners, they're facing bills upward of $2,000 to $2,500, depending on location. Ducati hasn't admitted a design flaw, but the pattern is clear enough that rider forums across Europe and the US are filled with similar stories. Then there's the oil consumption issue. Some Multistrada V4 S units are burning oil faster than expected, around 400 to 600 milliliters per 1,000 miles, forcing riders to top off between long trips. Ducati's official response: it's within tolerance, but for a bike that costs over $28,000, many owners find that hard to accept. The rest of the bike remains stunning. The ride quality is sublime. The electronics are smooth, and the comfort is unmatched. But those high running costs, unpredictable maintenance schedules are a hidden burden. No spec sheet warned them about. At speed, that item turns twitchy, the front end starts to wander, the bars shake, and confidence disappears. It's not the motor, it's the steering and suspension setup that feel loose, vague, and unpredictable when it matters most. When it first launched, the 390 Adventure was celebrated for how flakeable it felt, but after a year or two on the road, many riders noticed the front end feeling vague or twitchy at higher speeds. This isn't just a comfort problem, it's a confidence issue. Root cause lies in a combination of factors: lightweight front forks that flex under braking, uneven fork damping from the factory, and in some early models, poorly torqued steering head bearings. These small details add up to a front end that feels nervous on highways and unpredictable on loose terrain. To make things worse, KTM's recommended tire pressure don't always show real-world conditions. Riders who lower pressure for off-road comfort often make a problem worse. The already sharp fork geometry exaggerates the wobble. Even after multiple software and suspension updates over the years, issue continues to appear in 2025 models, especially under heavier riders or with added luggage weight. Dealers often fix this by retorquing the steering head or replacing fork oil early, but that's not an ideal answer for owners expecting ready-to-race quality. While the rest of the bike performs brilliantly, the engine is punchy, the ABS works well, and fuel economy is stellar, but unpredictable front end turns long rides into gushing gain. Some riders have tried a dramatic fixing, different fork spins, urine dampers, or heavier fork oil. These help at additional cost. The irony is that the 390 Adventure remains one of the best beginner ATV bikes in theory, just not in stability. The KTM 390 Adventure hides its flaw in plain sight, a front-end weakness that takes time to appeal but can shake rider confidence faster than any engine problem. While KTM's issue rattles your hands, the next motorcycle hides a failure that hits your back, a design that makes comfort look optional and pain almost guaranteed. At number 10, the Harley-Davidson Sportster S. It looks like a muscle bike built for freedom, brutal, low, and dripping with attitude, but the longer you ride it, the truth hits harder than the tour. This bike isn't fighting you, it's fighting you. Forward control, low seat, and harsh rear suspension turn every bump into a punch. It's fast, loud, and stunning to look at, but physically punishing to live with. The biggest hidden failure is a mechanical, it's ergonomic design. The Sportster has its combination of forward foot control, low 28.9-inch seat height, and long reach to the handlebar, forces the rider into a stretched-out position. For short rides around town, it feels fine, but after an hour on the highway, riders start reporting back, shoulder, and wrist pain. Taller riders struggle even more. The forward peg forces them into a C-shaped posture that makes long-distance riding almost impossible. Harley tried to show this as a spec cruiser hybrid, but the suspension tuning didn't help either. The 43mm Showa upside-down forks are solid, yet the rear monoshock has only 2 inches of travel, which means every pothole feels like a punch to the spine. Even at the softest preload setting, it's harsh enough that some owners have called it unrideable on rough city roads. Then there's heat. The Revolution Max engine is liquid cool, but that doesn't mean cool running. After 20 to 30 minutes in traffic, both exhaust headers radiate serious warmth, and riders report leg discomfort, especially in summer climates. Combined with a small 3.1-gallon fuel tank and awkward pillion setup, the Sportster S ends up being a bike that looks long-distance capable but barely tolerates a weekend trip. To Harley's credit, the engine itself is phenomenal. Pulls hard, revs freely, and makes the Sportster S feel like a muscle bike, but all that power is wasted when most owners can't ride more than 60 minutes without fatigue. Dealers have been hearing similar complaints for over a year, especially from riders trading in traditional Sportster for this modern version. Harley's response has been to offer optional comfort seats and peg relocation kits, but those are patch solutions, not fix-its for the core design flaw. The Harley-Davidson Sportster S hides its failure behind its beauty, a stunning bike that punishes its own rider. It's one of the few motorcycles that looks aggressive but rides like a workout machine. And if a Sportster's pain hits your back, the next motorcycle hides a different kind of way, one that hits your wallet, thanks to constant power replacements nobody warned you about. At number 9, the BMW S1000 XR. Looks like the perfect hybrid, sport-based speed with touring comfort, but give it a year, and that dream starts to bat. Literally, the same razor-sharp engine that makes it thrilling on day one slowly shakes the bike and its owner apart. Underneath all that German precision lies a vibration problem so persistent it eats through both bracket and patience, turning long-distance joy into slow mechanical misery. On paper, it's hard to fault. The 999 cubic centimeter inline-4 engine produces 165 horsepower and 84 pound-feet of torque, basically a superbike engine tuned for the road. It accelerates hard, corners beautifully, and feels rock solid at high speed, but that same high-strung engine design brings with it vibration levels that are far beyond what riders expect from a touring motorcycle. Owners across Europe and the US have been reporting persistent guard and 5K vibration that creeps in around 5,000 to 7,000 revolutions per minute, right where the bike sits during normal highway cruising. Over time, this causes numbness in the hands and feet. Even with BMW's factory-installed bar weights and rubber mounts, some riders have even replaced bar ends, mirrors and melts multiple times because the vibrations slowly loosen hardware, wear down components. What's more frustrating is that BMW has addressed this issue several times with minor updates, engine balancing tweaks, different mounts, and even redesigned handlebars, yet the problem still lingers in 2025. Riders who buy this bike expecting comfort quickly realize it's more sport bike than tour. Adding to the pain, those same vibrations tend to accelerate wear on smaller parts like fairing mounts, mirror stems, and luggage bag. A few riders have even reported cracks in their pannier supports after heavy touring use. While not dangerous, it's costly and painful. From BMW are anything but cheap. Then comes the heat issue. The XR's inline 4 runs hot, especially in traffic, combined with the aggressive fairing design that traps air around the legs. Many riders find summer riding almost unbearable. It's not a reliability problem, it's a comfort one, but it's enough to make owners reconsider using it for daily commutes. BMW built the S1000 XR to be an adventure sport bike, but that high-performance DNA ends up being its undoing. Riders looking for comfort and long-distance calm end up getting an endurance test instead. To be fair, the XR's handling and braking are among the best in the class, and for short, fast rides, it's thrilling. But for those chasing effortless miles, it's a wolf-built touring coating, one that demands constant attention and maintenance. BMW S1000 XR hides its value behind performance, a masterpiece of engineering that punishes riders in small, expensive ways. While BMW's problem buzzes through your bones, next motorcycle hides a more modern nightmare, a tech system that's so advanced, sometimes forgets how they actually work. At number 8, Kawasaki Ninja 1000 SX. The Kawasaki Ninja 1000 SX has built a strong reputation as a near-perfect sport tourer, powerful, practical, and packed with value. But under its refined exterior hides a flaw many riders don't realize until months of ownership: unreliable fueling and jerky throttle response that turns smooth rides into awkward ones. At first, the 1043 cubic centimeter inline-4 engine feels silky and responsive, but once you start commuting or cruising at low speeds, the throttle becomes twitchy, especially in the lower gear. The culprit: Kawasaki's overly sensitive ride-by-wire mapping combined with inconsistent fueling between eco and sport modes. On bumpy roads, even tiny wrist movements can cause the bike to surge or lurch forward. Not ideal for a bike marketed as a long-distance comfort sport bike. Owners have been posting about this since the 2020 refresh, and even the 2025 version still carries the same complaint. Kawasaki hasn't fully solved it. Riders who expect its smooth, predictable control often find themselves frustrated. But touring, that snappy throttle makes steady speed, then slow maneuvers unnecessarily tiring. Another subtle problem is heat buildup on long summer rides. Ninja 1000 SX funnels exhaust heat straight to the rider's inner thighs, making traffic conditions miserable. Combined with firm seat padding and limited airflow around the fairings, it's not the kind of discomfort you'd expect from a $13,500 sport tour. Everything else about the bike is great. Engine is bulletproof, the electronics are modern, and the handling is sharp, but a combination of touchy fueling and poor heat management is a constant reminder that refinement matters just as much as power. The Kawasaki Ninja 1000 SX hides its flaw in the fine print. It's a smooth tourer that doesn't always feel smooth. And if Kawasaki's problem isn't how it rides, next bike's failure isn't how it's built. A touring model that's literally shaking itself apart faster than owners can fix it. At number 7, the Suzuki V-Strom 1050 DE. It's the adventure bike everyone calls bulletproof, but ride it hard, really hard, and the truth starts to rattle. Literally, beneath that rugged reputation, bolts begin backing out, frames start creaking, and what once felt solid slowly shakes itself apart. The farther you go, the looser it gets. A hidden flaw that turns reliability into routine maintenance. The issue seems to come from the bike's design. The 1050 DE's chassis, solid overall, but the rear shelf frame, which supports both the seat and luggage rack, isn't as robust as it should be for long-distance loads. When riders add panniers, hot boxes, and passengers, the stress amplifies over rough terrain. After several thousand miles, bolts begin to loosen, especially around the rear fender and rack mounts. Dealers in North America and Europe have quietly been addressing this by applying stronger thread locking compound, recommending more frequent torque checks, but Suzuki hasn't issued an official bulletin. Some owners who didn't catch it early ended up with cracked mounts or damaged P from movement between components. To make matters worse, the stock suspension setup, tuned for comfort, tends to bottom out under heavy luggage, adding more stress to those same points. It's not catastrophic, but it's a kind of hidden durability issue that makes long-term ownership more expensive. In no brag, mechanically, the bike is still as reliable as ever. The 1037 cubic centimeter V-twin is proven, smooth, and easy to maintain. The riders who bought it expecting bulletproof touring are finding the reliability isn't just about engine. It's about the small details holding the bike together. The Suzuki V-Strom 1050 DE hides its weakness even its structure. A bike that can take you across continents fast for winds more often than you'd expect. And while Suzuki's bolts are backing out, the next motorcycle hides a flaw that hits even sooner. A machine whose clutch setup is burning out far faster than riders can adjust. At number 6, Honda Africa Twin CRF 1100 DCT. It's the adventure bike everyone swears by. Smooth, tough, unstoppable, until it isn't. Beneath that flawless reputation, Honda's dual clutch system is slipping. Literally, clutch packs are burning out early, and the software meant to make riding effortless is now confusing itself, turning the world's easiest chore into a mechanical guessing game. Honda's DCT system is brilliant when it works. It uses two clutches that alternate between odd and even gears for lightning-fast shifts. The problem is that many riders, especially those who ride off-road or spend time in stop-and-go traffic, are burning through their clutch packs faster than expected. Some owners have seen slipping symptoms in as little as 10,000 to 12,000 miles, far earlier than a manual clutch would need service. The reason is shallow but costly. The DCT logic sometimes struggles with fine throttle control at very low speeds, such as crawling through mud, sand, or heavy traffic. It hesitates, then grabs too hard, slipping the clutch repeatedly. Over time, this creates extra heat and premature wear. Replacing the clutch pad isn't cheap, running around $1,000 to $1,400, depending on the dealer. Even more frustrating is the DCT learning curve. The transmission adapts to rider style, but it can also forget its calibration. After battery disconnects or updates, that means owners occasionally get jerky or unpredictable shifts until the bike relearns patterns, something that can take hundreds of miles. Everything else about the Africa Twin remains stellar. The suspension, the engine's balance, the comfort, but this hidden DCT issue is souring experience for those expecting bulletproof Honda reliability. The Honda Africa Twin CRF 1100 DCT proves that even smart technology can wear itself out, trying to be too clever. And while Honda's clutch quietly slips away, the next motorcycle's problem is louder. A well-known superbike that sings beautifully until its gearbox starts grinding. At number 5, Aprilia RSV4 1100 factory. It's a masterpiece built for the track, razor-sharp, explosive, and engineered like a race weapon. But here's the twist. This superbike breaks down doing the one thing it shouldn't: normal road riding. Beneath its perfection lies a fragile gearbox that grinds, slips, and fails long before the rider does. Owners have reported false neutrals, missed shifts, and occasional gearbox binding between second and third gear. Issues that should have been on a $25,000 motorcycle. Most of these reports appear after the bike crosses 8,000 to 12,000 miles, well past the break-in period. The common thread seems to be premature wear on the shift drum and selector forks, small but crucial parts that control how smoothly the transmission engages. Aprilia dealers acknowledge it quietly, and some have replaced transmission components under warranty. But there's been no recall or service campaign. The worst part, even after repair, some owners report the problem returning after another few thousand miles. Mechanically, the rest of the RSV4 is solid. The V4 engine is willing, the electronics are world class, and the suspension is track perfection. But when the gearbox starts missing shifts mid-corner, confidence disappears. It's a problem riders can't see coming. The bike feels flawless until suddenly it isn't. On top of that, parts availability is inconsistent. Aprilia's smaller dealer network means long wait for replacement components, sometimes weeks or even months. That's a painful experience for someone who spent super bike money expecting wage-level quality. The Aprilia RSV4 1150 hides a serious flaw behind its perfection: an unreliable gearbox that undermines everything else it does right. And while Aprilia's transmission runs on trust, the next motorcycle shows that even the simplest commuter bike can frustrate owners when cheap to run turns into impossible to fix. At number 4, Yamaha YZF-R3 is the beginner's dream, light, forgiving, and built to last, or so everyone thought, because hidden inside a funny twin is a flaw that slowly kills it from within. A weak oil system starving the engine long before most riders ever noticed. The R3's 321 cubic centimeter parallel twin is a gem for its size. It revs freely, sounds sporty, and has a minimal vibration for a small capacity bike, but many riders don't realize how sensitive the engine is to oil level and temperature. If oil drops even slightly below the mid-mark, common in daily commuting, the chassis starts to suffer from limited oil pressure. This leads to early wear on the crankshaft bearing and cam-lobe, which is rarely noticed until it's too late. The issue worsens in high climates or during extended high-speed runs. Yamaha designed the engine for efficiency and compactness, but a small oil capacity means there's less thermal buffer than in bigger engines. Over time, this causes oil to break down faster, leading to metallic debris and bearing pitting. Mechanics who service R3 regularly have noted that bikes ridden aggressively on highways tend to show internal wear far earlier than expected, sometimes before 20,000 miles. Adding to the frustration, the bike gives almost no warning. There's no oil pressure gauge, just a simple warning light that often activates after the damage is already done. Riders who change oil late or use thinner blends, like 10W30 instead of 10W40, risk accelerating the problem even more. Otherwise, the R3 is as good as its reputation: agile, forgiving, and a great starter bike. But its longevity depends on meticulous oil checks and short service intervals. For a motorcycle marketed as low maintenance, that's not what new riders expect. Yamaha YZF-R3 hides its failure behind its simplicity. It's an easy bike to ride, but an easy one to wear out if you're not careful. And while Yamaha's issue lurks under the oil cap, the next motorcycle's problem is it right where you feel it: in the seat, which turns long rides into a literal pin. At number 3, Kawasaki Versys 650. It's the sensible choice: smooth, efficient, built to last. But the longer you ride, the more it betrays you. Beneath that bulletproof reputation hides a comfort flaw so stubborn it survived for over a decade. A seat and vibration combo that turns every long trip into a slow torture test. At first, you don't notice it. The upright ergonomics and soft seat foam seem perfect for commuting or weekend rides. But after an hour or two, the flaws become obvious. The seat padding compresses quickly, creating higher pressure points that cause lower back and tailbone pain. On longer trips, even experienced riders report stopping just to stretch every 60 to 90 minutes. What makes it worse is that the engine's parallel twin vibration lines up exactly with that discomfort zone, around 4,000 to 5,000 revolutions per minute. Right at highway speed, the seat and bar start to buzz. The vibration isn't catastrophic, but it's just enough to numb your hands and legs over time. Owners have tried everything from aftermarket bar weight to gel seat inserts, but even then, the issue never fully disappears. Dealers often recommend new seat foam or bar risers, but those are band-aid fixes. The real cause lies in Kawasaki's engine mounting design, which hasn't changed much since the early 2000s. The bike's reliability is unquestionable, but the ride comfort falls short of modern expectations, especially when competitors like the Yamaha Tracer 7 GT and Suzuki V-Strom 800DE build smoother and more refined out of the box. For shorter rides, the Versys remains one of the best do-it-all machines on the market. But for touring, it's a combination of vibration and weak seat comfort. It's a quiet deal-breaker for many owners. The Kawasaki Versys 650 hides its failure in the one place you can't ignore, where you say, it's proof of reliability, means little when the ride itself wears you down. And while Kawasaki's V4 creeps in slowly, the next motorcycle's hidden issue strikes fast, a problem that can literally leave riders stranded miles from home. At number 2, Triumph Tiger 900 GT Pro. It's marketed as the do-it-all tourer, lighter, smarter, and smoother than its big brother, but beneath that polished adventure image lies a flaw. Riders are sick pretending doesn't exist, random stalling and pure glitches that turn a $17,000 touring dream into a constant guessing game. Since the first 900 models launched, riders have reported random engine cutouts at idle or during low-speed clutch operation, often without any error code. In 2025, even after multiple ECU updates, the issue still pops up. Triumph claims it's a fuel mapping calibration sensitivity, but that's a polite way of saying the bike sometimes can't decide how much fuel to feed at low throttle. The problem shows up when creeping through traffic, climbing steep padding ramps, or negotiating slow corners, moments when balance and throttle precision matter most. 1 second, the bike feels fine. The next, it stalls. Riders describe the sensation as sudden and unpredictable, forcing them to restart in awkward spots. It's not dangerous most of the time, but it's embarrassing and frustrating, especially on a $17,000 motorcycle marketed for reliability. Dealers have reflashed ECUs and replaced sensors, but no single fact works for everyone. Some owners even suspect issues with the ride-by-wire throttle sensors, which seem overly sensitive to minor wrist movement or vibration. The rest of the Tiger is excellent. The inline-3 engine is strong, the suspension is plush, and the ergonomics are top-notch. But when your ultimate world tour can suddenly shut off in the middle of traffic, that confidence disappears fast. The Triumph Tiger 900 GT Pro hides its failure behind its sophistication, a polished motorcycle that forgets the basics of consistent fueling. And if the Tiger leaves riders guessing, the next bike's flaw doesn't ask questions. It simply fails, leaving even loyal fans speechless. And finally at number 1, BMW R1250 RT. It's supposed to be untouchable, the gold standard of touring, smoother than air travel, and built to last a lifetime. But behind that luxury lies a flaw so costly, it's shattering BMW's perfect image. Failing shaft drives that turn ultimate comfort into a $2,000 breakdown waiting to happen. BMW's shaft drive system was once legendary for reliability, but in recent years, particularly with the 2023 to 2025 models, there's been a spike in final drive seal failures and spine wear. The symptoms start small, a little oil mess near the rear wheel, or a faint humming noise at steady speed, but if ignored, it can lead to full wheel wear or bearing collapse. When that happens, the bike becomes unrideable. BMW has quietly acknowledged the problem by introducing new venting designs and inspection intervals, but they've stopped short of calling it a defect. Unfortunately, for out-of-warranty owners, a new final drive can cost you over $2,000, and that doesn't include labor. Some touring riders report needing replacements under 30,000 miles. A shock, considering BMW's marketing once promised lifetime durability, adding insult to injury. The problem is unpredictable. Some bikes run flawlessly for years, others fail in the first season. It's a quality control gray zone that's hurting BMW's image among its most loyal customers, the touring crowd that values reliability above everything else. Aside from this issue, the R1250 RT remains incredible. The boxer engine delivers smooth torque, the comfort is unmatched, and its handling defies its size. But that hidden weakness, the possibility of a final drive lead ruining the trail, is a dark cloud over an otherwise exceptional machine. The BMW R1250 RT hides its failure deeper than its drivetrain, a luxurious masterpiece that can leave you stranded in silence, waiting for a tow truck instead of soaking up a mile. And with that, one thing's clear: even the best motorcycles can hide their worst secrets, sometimes where you least expect them. Every bike here hides a story, but some do the opposite. They get everything right. If you want to see the motorcycles built for real comfort and zero regrets, check out our list of 17 perfect bikes for 2025 and hit subscribe.